What's going on, guys? Back here with another video. Today I'm going to be covering some lineups you guys might want to be using for round 2. Let's get right into it.
Pull up, two-door swerve, ay, pull up, ay, pull up, two-door swerving. Back in the day, I was worthless. Started from the service in the middle of the desert with a weather hot enough to break a motherfucking thermos, nigga. Ay, look at the flick of my wrist.
So first things first here, guys. The cap is now at 2,400 instead of 1,775, so that's good, right? Well, they raised the prices or the cap on other cards or the cards in general. So sapphires are now at 320. Okay, Paul George isn't sapphire, but emeralds are all the way up to 280 at max and 172 at low. Rubies are at 400, I believe. So yeah, if you have any collection rewards, I believe all the collection rewards are at 400. Silvers are at 150, and bronzes are all the way up to 100. Now, not all of them are, of course, but a majority of them are. So just keep that in mind as we go through these lineups. Alright, so here's the first lineup, but I need to explain the reasoning or what I've done here. So, the last 3 players are just placeholders, so ignore these. They're just silver players, they're really cheap. They're going to cost you around 226 salary cap points. So, I mean, if you want a 13-man lineup, you can always change it. I mean, it's up to you, but I personally run 10, so that's why you only see 10 players on here that you're actually going to want to use. So, moving on from that, I divided the starting 5 from the bench. So, the bottom, or the bench right here, which I'd highly recommend keeping because I looked around. I wouldn't say I spent ages looking through, but these are some pretty good players. At least they've been in the past. I've seen them around when I play online, and especially this duo right here, Terry Rozier and Danny Ainge. I've known about this duo, and I knew as soon as the caps went up that these two would be utilized a lot. And yeah, Rozier's only 100 and Danny Ainge is like 100 something, I can't remember, but really cheap to run. So point guard, shooting guard right there. Small forward, Bruce Bowen, he can shoot threes. Marvin Williams, he can shoot threes. And then center, we have 7'6" cheesy Sean Bradley. So bench isn't too wild, but they'll hold their own against other people online. And then up top here, like I said, I divided the top and the bottom. So the top is around 1,516 salary cap points, and the bottom is 884. So yeah, as you can tell, I put most of the salary cap points into the starting 5 because you're gonna be playing with them the most. So I have Westbrook at point guard, and then Paul George at small forward because the duo. Jimmy Butler to lock up any shooting guard, and he's good in general. He's a good two-way guard. And then Anthony Davis is the best power forward in the game, so I put him there as a sapphire. And then Towns I put at center because he can stretch the court, and he's just a good athlete in general. So obviously you guys can change this. You can put your sapphires, or I mean, this doesn't have to be sapphire, 2 sapphires and 3 emeralds. It can be whatever you want, but you can put your sapphires wherever you want. Personally, as you can tell, I like having a good point guard, and then I like having a good big man. So Anthony Davis is dominant, or is one of the most dominant power forwards in the game right now, so I ended up choosing him. Alright, now moving on to the second lineup here. This is more of a budget lineup. It's hard to say budget when there's emeralds in here, but most of these emeralds are pretty cheap, and there's no sapphires, so that's why I'm kind of calling this the budget lineup. So again, at the bottom, the 3 placeholders, and then this is cheaper. Like I said, I put most of the salary cap in the starting 5, so that's why obviously the bench is kind of crummy, but honestly I like the bench more than the starting 5 here. But hey, Mike Conley and Marc Gasol with that duo, and then Kevin Love and Kyle Korver with that duo. And this is mostly a 3-point lineup, so I kind of, what's the word, compensated for the price here. This is kind of like a 5-out 3-ball cheese lineup, like my team. You can run 5 out, and all these guys can knock down a 3-pointer. So, and then Cedric Ceballos at small forward. So that's the starting 5. They can all shoot the 3, and yeah, it should be a decent squad to use. And then Terry Rozier and Danny Ainge, again, this dynamic duo, I can't emphasize enough, is really good and cheap. I believe they get like a 300 to 400 total stat boost when you combine them together. And then Bruce Bowen, really good 3-point shooter. AK-47, Andre Kirilenko, power forward, and then Miles Turner, because literally everyone on this squad here can shoot threes. So that's what I really focused on. Alright, so now moving on. Those are the lineups I've created, and this part of the video I'm really going to emphasize how 2K is just really money hungry this year. So I made an average like lineup right here of cards you'd see in round 1. Of course, you get Ron Artest because everyone got the reward, and then just, you know, a silver player, and then average I'd say people had emerald cards. So yeah, so before round 1 or before round 2 and round 1, this lineup would go for 1,750 salary cap. Okay, so fair enough. And then afterwards, it's now 2893, so you can't use a team like this. So they kind of, I don't know, I just think they kind of overdid it, but hey, you know, stuff's gonna change. But that's not why I'm really mad. I'm mad because, okay, see a team like this, it's pretty average even now in round 2. We'll go over here. Here we go. And okay, this team by far is way better than this team right here. But guess what? You can use this team, and you want to know why? Because these cards are brand new, except for Dwayne Wade and Shaq. And guess what? Dwayne Wade and Shaq are 400 apiece. Yeah, that's how cheap they made these new cards. I mean, I just think they really messed up there. Because, okay, I know it was not used in round 1, but this Goran Dragic, Dominique Wilkins, and Ibaka, 100. Guess how much the gold Ibaka cost? 200. I just don't understand. I mean, okay, it says 200 here. Don't listen to MT Central, but... And Byron Scott, a Ruby, probably the best shooting guard in the game, cost 203, 201. It's just some weird number, and I don't know. I just don't understand why. Well, I do understand why. They want you to spend money on the packs to pull these cards. So 2K is just really money hungry this year. So if you're a casual player, I'm sorry. I mean, I consider myself more than just a casual player because I have a lot of MT. I mean, yeah, I can afford these cards. I still feel bad because, I mean, the people who spend money or no life this game, or primarily, okay, if you know life the game, you worked for it, but if you spend money, you just instantly have a advantage, or a way bigger advantage than someone who had this lineup. So I don't know. That's my rant for the video. I'm just trying to, I'll wrap this up. I don't know. Let me know how you feel about this. Tell me if you think, hey, it's completely fine. If you spend money, then yeah, you should have better cards. But I just think 100 for a Sapphire and 320 for an older Sapphire. I don't know. 2K really wants you to spend money this year. But I'm going to stop there. Thank you guys for watching this video. If I forgot any players or dynamic duos, or honestly, tell me your lineup below. I'm sure you probably came up with a better one than these. So let me know below, and maybe someone else will learn from yours and, you know, really appreciate it. So thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.